I'll get my screen shared.
Good morning, everybody. 9/23 or September the 23rd. We are just weeks away from AEP. We're a month and a week away from ACA OEP. So, we're gearing up. And one of the things I like bringing Joe on from agency comp. And because there is something that all of us need to make sure that's happening, because in the industry, sometimes, and I don't think it's on purpose, but sometimes we don't get paid for certain products. And sometimes we shouldn't get paid because the policy canceled and we don't know that it canceled. And so it kind of becomes an issue when you're not tracking your commissions. Now, tracking your commissions is kind of easy when you have a very small book. But when you have a larger book, sometimes it's kind of hard. Things do slip through the crack. But if you could stay on top of it, then possibly you can get a hold of somebody before they get out of the grace. This is what's huge, guys, especially in the ACA world, where we're going to be dealing with premiums going forward. And of course, in the life insurance world, if you can get a hold of somebody who you've not received commissions on because they missed their monthly payment, not too much in the life world, but in the ACA world, if you can get them before the end of the grace, you can get the policy back to normal status, get paid on the month that you didn't get paid on, get paid on the current month. But the big thing is that if they get canceled, they're not coming back. There is no little loophole that we can manipulate. Trump took all the loopholes away. And here's a great example, and it's kind of my fault. Had a young family, they just had a newborn. We added the newborn, I think in June or July, and their premium was $43 a month. Great ACA plan for 5, husband, wife, and 3 kids. $43, they didn't pay their bill and went to the grace. They didn't pay the second month. It canceled. Now I get a call like, "Hey, Luis, I went to the doctor and they didn't want to cover it." I'm like, did you go to the same doctor that's in the network? Like, yeah, same doctor. I'm like, okay, I logged in, canceled for non-payment. Luis, can you help me get it back in force? I'm like, let me see what I can do. All right, nothing I can do. There is nothing. Everything was blocked. So monitoring your commissions when you don't get paid is going to be super vital. And with that, we've got Agency Comp. We've got Joe, the owner of Agency Comp, which is going to explain how his program works. And I will tell you this, guys, I've entertained a bunch of commission trackers. This one here, gosh, you're not going to find one that is priced as well with the features that he's going to talk about. So, Joe, go ahead, man. Take it all. It's all yours, man.
Thanks, Luis. Great to be with you guys this morning. Just to hit real quick on what Luis just said, it's a lot easier to keep an existing client than to go look for a new one. So one of the things that our application does is it will show you those commissions that you've missed during the month, so that you can get in touch with the customer and again try to retain that business. We're going to show you a high-level overview of the application. We'll go kind of quick so that we can focus really just on the reports, and then we'll answer any questions that you have. So what you're looking at right now is our dashboard, and this is going to give you a snapshot of your book of business. Over here, these are individual policies that pay a percentage of premium. These are group policies that also pay a percentage of premium. If you do any work site, that's these policies over here. These are ACA or individual fee policies. So we're just basically showing you how many lives are covered, how much premium, and then what your current income is off that book, and then a 5-year projection. Over here, these are group fees. So if you do any small group business on a per member per month, they're going to show up over here. These are your Medicare Advantage policies and commissions. And this is just going to give you a quick look at your year-to-date, your annualized premium, and the imported commissions and fees that you've collected. Down here, these are just some top 10 by premium and by commissions that you can look at by all these different variables. You can look at year to date, or you can look at all, or you can look at the prior year. So just a little landing page. It's a snapshot of your business. So we'll jump into the policies. And we'll just jump into, here's one. It's a United Healthcare. The first thing that I want to show you is up here, this is our knowledge base. And everything in our application, we have approximately 80 videos in here that tell you every single aspect of how to do everything. Here's everything on our reports. And when you're in these, we show you a couple of different ways because we know that people learn differently, right? So we're going to show you an analytic. These are on the analytic reports. There's a 1 to 3 minute video, and then there's also a step-by-step. So which these can be printed. So our knowledge base does a tremendous job of helping educate you on anything that's available in the application. So that being said, this is an individual policy. We do not have a CRM connected to this. So you don't have to pay for a CRM if you're happy using the CRM you're using. That's wonderful. This only tracks commissions. So there's not that much information. It's the customer name, the agent, the type of commission plan, the carrier, the product, the effective date, and the status, policy number. So the application, I'm going to jump into our comp plans. So our application can track commissions for these different types of commissionable products. So percentage of premium, it's going to be any of your life, disability, long-term care. And when we do this, we can even show it. So this is a comp plan. So every policy, you'll want to tell us how you get paid. So if you have a carrier that's paying a percentage of premium, you come in and we create the schedule. Let's say it's a final expense. In year 2 through 10, maybe it's 5%. That's it. And you give it a name. And this is how all the comp plans work. The comp plan is going to help us determine when you're supposed to get paid and how much you're supposed to get paid. You can link it to all the carriers, or you can pick specific carriers. So let's say it's only with Big Tex Light. In this case, if you get advance commissions, we can say you get 9 months of advance commission. So once you have these commission plans or comp plans created, when you add a policy, you'll link the comp plan to the policy. That's it. So we can track Medicare. So here's a Medicare. We even have the ability to automatically create these based on the year and based on whether it's a national, whether it's California, or whether it's Pennsylvania. And once we create one of these, we'll update it every year that CMS comes out with the new rates. We'll automatically update these plans. So you'll always know exactly what you're supposed to get paid. So that's the Medicare Advantage. Percentage of premium, and then we have fee. So any type of fee that you're earning, here's a per member per month. And again, you create the comp plan and it links to the new policy when you add a new customer and a new policy. All right, so let's jump over to, I want to go to some of these reports. So when we import your policies, so I'm on the main menu, when we go to the commissions, the first thing we do with each carrier statement is we create a map. So we have to tell the application, on my commission statement, here's where certain items are. So for example, when we create this map, we have all the columns in your statement over here. These are the agency comp fields, and these are the fields that we're mapping from your column. So we'll drag and drop, and once we create this map, we do it just one time. And then each month, what you'll do is you'll download your statements. We don't have the ability, nobody has the ability, like what we're doing here with commission tracking. Nobody has the ability to go direct to the carrier and download. It's because of HIPAA, and the carriers just don't allow it. So what we do is we import a commission statement, and I'll just grab one. We drag and drop it in. You put the statement date, you grab the carrier, and it's going to pull up the map you created, and then you import. And so here's what it looks like. So each carrier is going to have a statement, and we'll come in here. And what it's doing is it's taking the policy number and it's matching it to the policy number in the application. So this is from the commission statement, and it's going to match it to the policy in the commission statement. If it's pending, it means that it could not find this policy number. Now, in this instance, we're tracking a base commission, and we're also tracking an override that gets paid separately. So the override matched, but the base policy didn't. So we'll just click on pending, and we'll go look for that person, Butler. And by the way, in about a week, these are going to all be pre-filled with information from the statement. So these will be automated. You won't have to fill anything in here. So there's the base policy. So we're going to click match. And now it's matched, and it'll match every month moving forward. So that's the process. You import your statement, and then the commissions match based on the policy number. They go inside the policy and match it. So here's some of our reports, and I'm going to hit the first three. I'm going to cover on how we find missing commissions or commissions that aren't paid correctly. So the first one is a pending business report. When you first add a new policy to the application, you might not know what the policy number is. That's okay. When the commission statement comes in and you manually match it the way we just did, it will take the policy number and it will replace TBA with the policy number. So when you first add a new policy, the commission is always pending because you've not been paid on it. And this is where our customers tell us where most of the commissions that are missing get found. Because during AEP and during open enrollment for ACA, they have all these policies and they have no way of knowing if they've actually been paid on them. A lot of errors get made when they submit that business through an FMO. It doesn't get coded correctly, or for whatever reason, maybe it doesn't even get submitted. So, a lot of these FMOs, and there's good ones, just like anything else, but they have turnover with their staff as well. So some of these folks aren't trained as well. And so we just find that our customers tell us when a policy gets submitted, a lot of times it may not actually get issued or it may not get submitted correctly. So when you add a new policy, the status is always pending. So this pending report is going to give you a list of all your pending commissions. It's going to show you how much premium, it's going to show you the effective date and how much commission. And so you can look at this. Let's increase this. At any time, you can see how much total commission you have in the hopper. So this is your feel-good report, right? This is when you can go look and see what pending commissions you have. So that's the first place to find it. The second place is we have what's called a missing commission report. Once you've imported your commission statements, you can do a look back to see what commissions got paid and which ones didn't. So for example, this is what a report would look like. We imported commission statements for January, February, and March for this carrier. Anytime you see these X's means you did not get paid. There was no commission that lined up in this month. And you can actually look back, I believe up to 24 months. So you can go back to, here it is August. You can go back to January, you can go back to August last year. So when you have one missing commission, it's not that big a deal. As Luis pointed out, sometimes people miss paying their premium or they change banks or the draft changed. So when you have two or more, that should be a red flag. So for example, here, you only have one, so that's probably not that big a deal. Again, if you get any kind of an override, that's what this OC stands for, other comp. We can track that separately. So on a commission statement, if you have a base commission and your FMO sends you an override, we can track those separately because a lot of times you might get the base commission paid directly from the carrier, but the override doesn't get paid. So here's a missing commission report. The next report is called projected versus actual. Now we want to look and say, did we get paid accurately? And what this will do is this will say, what was I expecting? So over here's the policy. So what commission was I expecting and what did I actually get paid? And in this case, on this policy, nothing was paid. So you're in the hole for this Medicare policy. You can see here on this person, this is what I was expecting, and that commission was paid all 3 months. So I have a zero balance. And so this helps you identify, A, did you get paid? And B, was it accurate? So this is a projected versus actual report. Some other reports, besides the fact that you want to try to find missing or inaccurate commissions, we have analytics. So you can look at your book of business by commission or premium. So for example, if you're tracking your premium with a carrier, here's a carrier premium year-to-date report. So it's going to give you a breakdown by carrier and show you how much new premium you've written and subtotal it by carrier. Another one is carrier commissions. So you can see how much commission you've generated by carrier. You know, a lot of times if you're, everybody has to renew their E&O each year, right? And one of the things that's just such a pain is, well, how much commission did you generate with your carriers? How much premium did you write, right? And it's just a real pain to have to go back and try to figure all that out. So these are analytic reports. Another report that we offer is called revenue projection. So once we understand how you get paid on a policy, then we can project your income. And we can do it, and we can do it on just your Medicare business, just your ACA, or we can look at all business. And these reports can be looked at up to 10 years and by month. So you guys that are selling just primarily ACA, you don't have a huge variation in your income because usually it's a level commission. But if you're doing Medicare or you're doing anything that's paying a percentage of premium, you know, a lot of med sup policies will pay percentage of premium, final expense, any of your ancillary lines that you're selling. So this is going to take into account all your first year and your renewals. This is also a great report if you're talking to somebody about buying your book of business. You know, this is a great way to project what your income's going to look like. So that's revenue projection. We have advanced commissions. I just mentioned med sup. A lot of med sup policies will advance the commissions the first 9 months. So this report's going to show you your annualized premium, the advance rate. So 75% would be 9 months, how much you were advanced, and then how much you've earned year to date. So if that policy terminates, that's your chargeback. So if you're doing a lot of business where you're getting advances, this is going to be that's going to be what your worst scenario is. Okay. So this is an advanced commission report. We have a goals report. So you can set goals. You can do it by premium or you can do it by commission. And once you set them, every time you write a new policy, it'll add it to the results and show you what you have left to achieve that goal to help you stay on track. For those of you that pay any type of downline agents, we do have a commission statement. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but basically, when you import those commission statements, we can run a report and it'll show by agent. Let me expand this. It'll show by agent what commissions came in, how much commission came in. And then you can link a percentage payout based on the customer so that you know exactly what you owe that broker that month. Luis, I do want to point out here this is our website. So it's just agencycomp.com. These are our subscriptions. We have 3 of them. They're based on the number of customers you have. So it doesn't matter if you have one customer that has, you know, a med sup and a PDP, it's still one customer or one client. So it's based on the number of clients. And then we also have on any of our subscriptions, Luis has a discount code and it's just MORENO 10. And when you enter that, it'll take 10% off the first year subscription for if you enter that as the discount code.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, free money.
Little extra.
So that's how our app works, and those are the reports that can help you track commissions. Also, just track your business and your revenue. Yeah,
Guys, and I will tell you, it's vital that you're doing it. I mean, when you can, because if you got a very small book, you can probably look at your commission statements from 1 month to the next and kind of figure out, I made $1,000 this month. I made $900 the next month. I'm missing $100. That means you lost either 4 or 5 clients. Now you got to go sit there and kind of, you track, okay, who's on this list that's not on this list. Well, that takes a lot of time, and it's not that easy. That's one of the benefits of this missing commissions report, is that it'll tell you which are the 4 or 5 that you're missing. Get that to your CSR, put it into your CRM, and start sending out notices to the client and let them know. And I will tell you this, guys, next year, at least with ACA, you're gonna have to let your people know, you better not miss your bill. You should be on EFT. They're going to give you a 1 month grace. And if you don't get back and get caught up and you miss 2 months, you're done. There is no coming back from it. Okay, you got to remember, we don't have low income SCP. We do have loss of coverage, but losing your coverage because you didn't pay your bill does not count. You will not get that letter of credible coverage from the carrier to submit. And remember what's happening, guys. If you haven't processed a request to or a new policy using the loss of coverage SCP, it is getting blocked until you submit the proof. It's not the reverse. Back, these last 4 years under the Biden administration, we could submit whatever and they would give us 90 days to satisfy the requirement. New administration says, hell no. New administration is saying, submit it first, prove it, and then we'll let the enrollment go. But if you don't submit those docs, guys, and you're not going to get a document from a carrier because that insured did not pay their premium, they are totally screwed. You're screwed. The insured is even more screwed. You're screwed because you just lost commissions and you're not going to get it back. Now, you might be able to put them into a short-term plan, a limited benefit plan. You're going to put them somewhere else, assuming they're healthy. But if they got a pre-existing condition, and it's probably why they're calling you, like this one lady, my client, hey, I got some issues with my kid, and it could be serious. And I'm like, I'm sorry, why didn't you pay your damn bill? I told you to get on auto pay for $43. I mean, I get so frustrated with my clients. All you got to do is take care of you and put it on auto pay. But now she's screwed. Now they're getting some medical bills. And I'm like, it's on you. It's on you. All right, I'll come up. Kevin's got a question. Hey, they're new to ACA, so I apologize for newbie question. No, man, I like newbie questions because I think I can answer. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Okay. I am with an agency where I assign my commissions. That's normal. Does the platform still work in the case? I would say yes. Joe, you want to handle this one?
Yeah, great question. All you need is a commission statement, right? So it doesn't matter if you're getting that from a carrier or you're getting it from an FMO. We have a lot of customers that get paid from the FMO. Sometimes the FMO pays out all the commission and they just keep the override. And then sometimes they pull out a small fee and then they forward the commission to you. So it doesn't matter as long as you can get a spreadsheet with your commissions and what you're paying. I was going to pull up, this is how we onboard. This is a spreadsheet for health insurance. So all we need is the customer name. We have the agent name. You have the carrier, the policy number, the effective date, the number of lives, and then this is the comp plan that we create. So when you get a commission statement, we just need a policy number, hopefully a name, and then a commission amount. So you don't have to have some elaborate statement to do this, and it doesn't have to come from the carrier. Yeah, happens all the time.
There's 2 ways to get your statements, guys. So if you have your commissions assigned to an FMO and they're paying you, like the way we have it with Messer is sending us an email because all these carriers have their own pay schedule and pay date. So I get an email, hey, you just got a commission statement. They provide you a statement as a PDF and an Excel. Okay, they will do that one. If you go to a carrier, like Aetna pays us direct, they don't go through the FMO no matter what. Well, you go to Aetna Producer World and you can download the PDF or an Excel. So every carrier will give it to you, except for one. God, there is one, Joe. Okay, and then I still haven't figured it out, and that is Scott and White, which is very, very local and
Yeah.
small, but they
Yeah.
only give us a
You're right.
PDF. And I'm like, come on,
You know,
guys.
Kaiser in California does that. Kaiser, they will not send you one unless you email or call them and request, and then they'll do it. Then they'll send it to you. So yeah,
So I don't know why. If they can if they can put it into the PDF, I don't know why they just can't put one more little button in there and get it as a.
yeah. I don't either. I guess I don't know,
So
but it's a good question.
good question, man. Does the platform still work? Okay, yes, it does. Remember, Health Sherpa in the ACA world is just a quote and an enrollment platform. Sunfire is the same tool, but for Medicare. So, regardless of the platform that you're using to quote and enroll, this is a separate piece of software that just helps you track your commissions. Now, here's something to think about, and I haven't used this, but the 5-year projection. If some of you guys are in that mentality where you're going to sell your business down the road, that 5-year projection is huge. Okay,
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
do pay out multiples of what they think your revenue is going to be.
And you can back it up. That's why when we create these comp plans, you can back up your projections because here they are. Here's how you get paid. I mean, there's no fudging on how you're getting paid on a fair market value Medicare policy that you wrote. Um, so that's why it's worth the time to come up with how you actually get paid. If you don't care about the projected versus actual, and you don't care about revenue projection, all you want to know is if you're missing commissions, then we don't have to have all these plans. We have default plans. So when you create a new policy, we just have a default plan for each type. So we have, let's see if I can put it in here. Well, I won't pull it up now, but anyway, it's a default plan. So that's all you have to have just it defaults to just some basic plan. But I suggest that you put in the actual plan, because if you have 25 customers and you're getting $23 per member per month, then that you want to know that, right? Because you want to make sure that when you get your commissions, that's what they're paying. I'm telling you, it's amazing how many mistakes are made. I just had a customer call. She hadn't been paid on, I can't remember how many policies. It was over 4,000 in commission. And she's a broker in Texas, and she's a pretty large producer, but she kept saying, I know I'm not getting paid accurate on these. So we got all our stuff in, and sure enough. Now, what's interesting is some of these carriers will not let you go back farther than 6 months. Some of them will let you go 12 months, but some of them have cutoff dates where you can't go back and collect based on commissions that you earned in the past that you didn't get paid. That's what they'll do. So, our app lets you look back 12 months, I think even 24 months. But anyway, that's FYI.
Yeah, good,
Yep.
good, good thing to know. And I will tell you, and I'm going to ask you this question because commissions are changing, guys. I had a meeting with Molina last week, and they're going to $10. So the standard that we knew, guys, is going to change. All right. So some of their plans will be at $10 per member per month. I know, like with Blue Cross, they have a $25 and they have a $20 plan. Depends on the plan that you write. So, Joe, if we have a
Yep.
carrier that's going to have multiple levels, maybe one
Okay.
at 20, maybe one at 10, how would they adjust that?
Okay. So right here, I just pulled up our fee plans. So what I would do is I would take this and I would say, I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to say, this is only for First Bank. And I'm going to save it. Well, naturally it already exists. So I'll just do First Bank here. I'll put this. So in other words, you create one plan, and then you can always go in and duplicate it. and say that was First Bank at 20 or $25. This one's at $20.
Okay.
That's it. And so when I talk about linking a comp plan to a policy, I'll show you real quick. So when we add a new policy, we'll add a new individual policy. If your customer's in there, great. If not, we'll just put in here new customer. And that's how fast it is to add. You're going to be the only agent in here, more than likely. Let's say we're going to add a fee. We're going to do Blue Cross. Only the compensation plans that are linked to Blue Cross are going to be here. So there's one, what we'll use. Policy number you're probably not going to have. Our effective date's going to be October 1, and it's pending. And that's all you have to do. We have type and subtypes that kind of help you look at your book by a type. So we could have individual, and we could have, we'll just do a new subtype, health. And there it is. So we'll save and return. So now all of a sudden that policy is going to show up on our pending business report. So there's our Blue Cross Blue Shield, there's new customer, and there it is right there. And that's showing $25 per month per member. Now let's say they have a family of 2. We just change this to 2. Let's say it's on 10/1 and on 1/1, they say, hey, we want to add our daughter, right? So we'll say that's fine. So we're going to change this to 3, and that's going to be effective 1/1. We save it. That's it. So we can track any type of commission for any type of policy. That's how it works. Good question.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get the update. And here's what's happening, guys, is that these rates are changing. Yeah. When I talk to Molina, they're like, yeah, a lot, they're not going to put it out. So I've got to go and get it. But the rates or our commissions, which Joe's referring to it when he says fees, it's our commissions. They vary. They're going to vary by carrier. They're going to vary by state. And they're going to vary by plan. So, for example, with Blue Cross of Texas, we have the regular plan and we have a value plan, or the MyBlue, which is a smaller network. So it's going to vary. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. And you can, so here's a Blue Cross 25 per member. So what I might do is might go in here and edit this and say, MyBlue. Right.
Change that to
20. So I have that. And then they say, well, there's MyBlue, and you do Texas and Oklahoma, and it's $20 or $18, whatever it is, right? So that's how it works. Because when you add those plans, you want to be able to, when you're adding a policy, you want to make sure that you can go in here and have that plan available. These are all the national plans that we did for Medicare, and they're all here. And those take about 30 seconds, because when you create a Medicare Advantage plan, when you go in and say, whoops, let me jump over to the commission. When you go into comp plans and you create your Advantage plans in PDP, you can do these all at once. So you have national rate, you have Pennsylvania, you have California, you have prescription drug plans. And when you go in here and do like an Advantage plan, national rate, fair market value, you can add all these different years, and it creates them at one time. And so once it creates this, we're going to update the rates, because here's the way you guys get paid on fair market value. Hopefully you can see this. Yeah. So on fair market value in 2020, let's say 2025, you got a first year commission of $626. Okay. Your renewal in 2026 should be $28.92. We don't know what it's going to be in 2027 because they haven't announced that yet. When they do, we will come back into these plans and automatically update them. So we will come back in here on, and the system will automatically update. Here's 2024. So when 2027 comes out, you'll see year 4 to 4, and we'll fill in that amount. So it's pretty cool. It automatically updates for you. You don't have to worry about it. And then you'll know if your renewal is accurate or not. Yeah.
Yeah, with Medicare, I would my stance was like, oh yeah, it's pretty standard. But we're seeing reduced commissions on plans. We're seeing no commissions on
Yeah.
new plans, but they're
And
still paying.
PDPs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this is dynamic, guys. It's not only ACA, but it's happening in Medicare. It's already been happening to us in the P&C world. So I would just tell you,
Wow.
oh yeah, man, we're getting killed. We used to be at 20% renewals, Joe, on P&C.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
We went down to 14, went down to 10. In 2025, we're at 5% with
Yeah.
a potential of 5% bonus if you're maxing out all of your metrics. So
Yeah.
they've they call this a bonus. They steal a dollar and they give it back to us because we jumped
Yeah.
through all their hoops, and they call that a bonus. Like they're just giving us some money that they took. But this is our livelihoods, guys, are getting tougher and tougher, to make the money. So having a software like this to track it and stay ahead of the game and know who's behind, and then you need to have a system. Once you go through the report, Joe, can you show the missing commissions again?
Yeah. Yeah. What I was going to tell you is on this report, what's nice about this, we got this feedback from brokers. By the way, we built our whole app just based on brokers. So you can export this report, and some of the carriers, they want the client first name, client last name, or they want first and last. So you can add any of these columns so that if you have a carrier that says, well, if you want to send an inquiry, we need their first and last name. Well, that's fine. You can add these, and then you can export this report. So we have it here, and then you can export it. And then all you have to do is sort by the columns so that you have all the X's that come up, all the ones that you want. So here's your report. And we can come in here and data filter, filter by. These are all the ones that are, that's your danger zone right there.
That is. So that right there is
That's
telling
it.
me that either they never were effectuated, which means that the
Exactly.
plan never started and you thought they were going to start, or
Yeah.
you're just not getting paid on them. Now, if you could go up a little higher on the chart, Joe, where we see like right there, stop. So now you see like number 14, Anthony West. We got paid for 1 month, but the other 2 we did not.
Right.
So this tells me, hey, we're assigned as the agent. So that's not the issue. So I don't need to go do an inquiry. Hey, why am I not getting paid? The obvious answer here is there's several obvious answers. The first one is going to be, hey, this guy didn't pay his premium. Okay, that's the obvious one. The other one that's not too obvious is maybe he is paying, but this account was stolen. Maybe.
Yeah.
In the AC world, that happens. Medicare doesn't happen. Final expense doesn't happen. But at least now you know. So when you let's say now in this scenario, it's probably too late for Anthony West. He's missed 2 months. There's no way in hell that carrier is going to reinstate that. Okay, if we're in April, because this is February, he missed February,
Right.
he missed March. Okay, if we're in April, you're already running too late. You needed to know in March when you pull this report and you see that we didn't get paid February. That's where you're doing your check. You're like, hey, Anthony, what happened last month? Did you pay your bill? Did you pay it late? No, I haven't. Okay, well, let me just warn you. If you don't pay the February bill and the March bill, you will be terminated, and you're not going to be able to get insurance for the rest of the year. Okay, there's no way. Now, if we were to reverse or go back in time to last year, I could manipulate it and get it back for you. But there ain't no manipulating of this anymore. So your CRM needs to be already set up. I have a workflow for ACA missing payments. I have a workflow for ACA policies that were stolen. I mean, I've put it on there and I'm like, I add them. Now, Joe, when you do that export, are you able to also, well, you guys are not a CRM, so you don't have, do you have a email and phone number section?
No,
Okay.
we don't have an email. That's interesting. That's we're trying right now. We're in the middle of enhancing our API. So, guys, an API is something that software programs have that let them connect to other software programs. So, we built our commission tracking app on a standalone basis so that we can connect to any CRM. So that's what we're in the process of building right now, is the ability to be able to connect to any CRM. So, so one of the things I was going to say is, so this policy, let's say you find out it terminated, right? It was good through January. What we would do is we would take this policy, we'd find it, and then you can terminate it. And you put the term date. So we would use the last day of January.
Right.
Once you do this and you save it, then when you run that report again, you're not going to see any red X's here because the application knows it terminated and you were not expecting any new commission here. So one of the things you can do at the end of the year is we have this tool here. It's called bulk term. And if you're in Health Sherpa and you have the policy number, then you can add the policy number to this tool right here, add the policy number and add the term date. And then you can go in and load it back into here, and it'll go terminate all those policies and put the right term date. Then you can eliminate a lot of these, false red flags because we know that these policies have terminated. So you won't see any of the ones. Now, the ones that are left over, those are still like if these policies all terminated. So you are eliminating the policies that have already terminated and that you can't put back in force. So you don't waste time on that. Okay. So that's one of the tools that we have available to do what we call a bulk term. Pretty easy. You just, and again, I think Health Sherpa has this information. Does
Yeah.
anybody know? Do you
Health
know?
Sherpa, there's new carriers. Well, there's carriers that are right now, not a lot of them. And I've got to get that report from Health Sherpa where they are reporting their billing status to Health Sherpa.
Okay.
So right now we
Nice.
have a few, but we should be getting more. And this is not a Health Sherpa thing. It's more of a carrier reporting thing. But this is going to be the year, guys, that you're going to have to monitor your grace periods because not only are we going to lose a chunk of people because of the loss of the enhanced subsidies, but now when we lose somebody that we already have who's willing to pay that extra premium, but they're behind, we've got to, in more ways than one, through text message, through email, let them know, hey, look, if you don't pay this next bill, and I'm sorry, look, you got to pay the one you just missed and the current one, you're screwed. Not only can I not do it, but no other agent can do it. You can try to do whatever you want and even call healthcare.gov. They can't even do it. Nobody cares. Pay your bill. Okay, I'm telling you, if we're not putting that out there, guys, and I'm hoping, I know I've done this 3 or 4 times, telling you just in this hour, if you're not understanding that, realize the new rules that we're dealing with. We're gonna have to monitor the grace periods like no other, which means you guys spend time uploading your commissions here. You spend time going to the carrier websites, okay, and checking their reports in addition to what's here. Now, remember, this is based on commission, okay? You don't get paid. With ACA, guys, you got to remember this. If there's a premium and the insured doesn't pay, we don't get paid. Even if it's $1 and they didn't pay it, we don't get paid. The next month, if they pay that $1 and the next $1, the $2, then we get paid for 2 months. Okay, so this should be maybe your fallback But your real report is you going into the carrier websites and pulling up that grace period, whether you do it daily or weekly, but you have to have a system. In fact, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my next training on pulling up carrier reports and creating a workflow, or at least I'll share my workflow. Out of curiosity, guys, and you all put your comment on here. Would you guys be interested in just doing a training where we look at carrier reports and then also study the workflow? Okay, cool, Kevin. Here's what I'll do. Okay, awesome. What I'll do is I'm going to put something together, guys, and then I'll shoot just a one-off link. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. You know what? Screw this. We're going to do it tomorrow, guys. ACA tomorrow. I will go into the reports. I'll start working on it right now. I'll have the workflow ready to share with you guys. And
Great
yeah,
idea.
we're going to do it tomorrow. Well, we still have Joe on our training here, guys. Any questions for Joe? Unmute yourself, guys, if you want to ask him something.
Hi, Luis. This is Irene.
Yes, Irene.
I like it, but always for me, this type of things are very complicated. So my question is, do I have to go to each carrier and download my statements, or do I go just to House Sherpa and then I just enter the policy? No. How do you do it?
Okay, Joe, you want to tackle that, Joe?
Yeah. Yeah, Irene, good question. That's everybody's pain point, by the way. It's not just you. Um, in today's world, everybody wants to blink and have it there. And unfortunately, there's no easy way to get that data for us to get it directly from the carrier. We can't get it. So each month you have to download your statement. The good news is if it's in Excel and we have a map, then basically you're downloading the statement. I'm going to show you where I am. So I'm going to commissions, and then I'm going to click on here, import statement, and you're just going to drag and drop your file into here. And then it's going to ask you for a statement date and what carrier, and then you're going to hit add, and it will add it for you. So that is, for lack of a better word, that's the pain point. You have to download your statements, and they have to be in Excel. So, honestly, you have to weigh that versus, what is the benefit? Some people aren't comfortable doing that. I get that. But it's going to be pretty difficult for you to know if you're getting paid on everything, if you don't look at your commission statement each month. And this is just another process where you're going to have to go in and add it and import it. One of the things that we're working on to make it easier for our customers is when you download a commission statement, first of all, we want to be able to have you add multiple statements from the same carrier, because some carriers pay twice a month, some of them pay weekly. So we want to fix this so that you can import multiple statements at one time. The second thing that we're working on is when you add a commission statement, if there is no policy already added, so you haven't added in that new policy, then we're going to figure out a way to automate that process so that when you import it, then we're going to show you, here are the policies, here are the commissions that there's no matches for. There's nothing in there. And so we're going to have a way to automate that process to automatically add them for you. So that's what we're right now. Right now we can do it fairly well, because if you have any pending commissions, then what we'll do is we'll go in, and I'm just telling you this, Irene, because I try to tell everybody this all looks great, but you're right. What's the worst case, right? So if you have a pending commission, that means that it can't find a match for this policy. You may have added it, right? But it can't find the policy number. So you will have to manually click this. And again, in about a week or 10 days, we will automatically fill in these search fields based on information from the statement. We'll fill these in. So all you're going to do is find the match and click it. If you haven't added the policy at all, you're going to come to this screen. And again, there's the data. We know the effective date, the product, the carrier, and so on. we're going to pre-fill all of this for you now. And so you'll just click add policy and it'll add it. In the future, within the next probably 2 months, we'll do this on a scalable basis so that we'll take all your pending policies, let you click a box and say, yes, connect all these. And then we'll have another screen that'll have all your policies that aren't in there. And you click the boxes and click add, and it'll add all the policies. So that's just, but all the software programs that do this, this is exactly how they do it. So you have to say, you know, we try to say spend as little time as possible to get the maximum results. That's why when we have adding a policy, we only have a certain amount of information, very basic information, so that you don't spend a bunch of time. There's no address, there's no phone number, email, social, birthday, none of that. So it goes pretty quickly, but yeah, you have to be invested in it. Now, we've had a lot of customers ask us, hey, I love the software, but I don't want to do anything. I just want to send you my statements. Right? Can I get a hell yeah?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I'm the guy.
Yeah, Luis is one of them. So we're working on, once we make some of these enhancements to the adding new policies and so on, we're going to work on a process of coming up with some type of a program where we have a fee, where we just charge a certain amount, and you guys will just have one link where you click it and you upload all your statements each month, and we'll do all this. We'll add all the new policies, we'll import all the commissions and so on. So we have had so many people ask us for that. So that's something that we're going to work on and we'll have available. You know, we want it to be affordable, but we also have to make a profit so we can be here to continue to provide that service. So good question, Irene. Sorry for the long answer.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Irene,
Okay.
so I'm going to share just a couple of things. So looking at my screen here. Okay. So most of us are with Messer. Guys, you'll go here to your statements and you can pull the statements. Okay. And they do provide it in a PDF and an Excel format. The other way you can do it, like Aetna pays us direct. Okay, that's just the way they work. But remember, they're going away next year. But with Aetna, you would log in here, go to compensation, individual and family plans, and then you would go here. I mean, they don't make it easy. Can't you give me one button that just takes me there? And then
Yeah.
you go and you select it, and then you pull your statement, and then you have to click on another button to get a CSV file. So I can see how this could be, like, it's not easy. You know, they don't make it easy for us, but that's just the way it is. So one of the things that us agents, to help us monitor who we're getting paid on, we're not, who's missing, is you have got to have your system. You got to have everything ready to go. So maybe you create a folder for your carriers like I did. So I go here, let's just say I want to go to Oscar. Boom. I go to Oscar, I'm ready to rock and roll. Now I get paid through Oscar from Messer. Okay. I can go on here, click, and Oscar will give me a report on, let's see here, individual, and I can get my grace report. I can go in here, I'm like, this is beautiful. I've got one person that is overdue. I can go here and find out, who are my overdue people? And this person's in the grace. We got to call Mario to pay his damn bill. Only $109. If he doesn't pay it, Mario's going to lose his policy. So yeah, there's some, and so every carrier has their site. Every carrier has their way of grabbing the data. And you and all of us have to know with every carrier that we have. And remember, in Texas, we got maybe 10 carriers. If you're in Florida, you got about maybe 14 carriers. That's 14 systems that you have to figure out how to grab it. And there's no easy way. I don't know. You just got to get in here and figure out, I can go pull my statement here. I can go pull whatever. But this is Oscar. Well, what about Christus? What about Scott and White? What about Ascension? We don't have Ascension. What about Cigna? Molina? Okay, Ambetter. So Krista, well, I think I have to, anyway, you have to have your way to make it easy for yourself to go grab your data. Bright Health is gone. We need to get rid of these guys. We get rid of Ascension.
Hey, Luis. So this broker that found this 4 grand, she told me that so she just has a spreadsheet. And what she did is she has the carrier in the column, in column A, then she has the link to the carrier site. She has the username in column C, the password in column D. I mean, she just spells it out. So it does take a while, but you only have to do it one time. And if you do it, then you just create your folders on your hard drive, right? That's gonna where you can download your statements each month. And it's just it's not magic. Um, I always ask my wife, how come I can't lose weight? She goes, because you eat too much sugar. So I said, well, how do I lose weight? Quit eating so much sugar. I mean, there is no magic to it,
So
right? That's
I'll give
perfect.
you,
Look at that.
I'll give you a
That's
little
awesome.
magic here, guys, like what he's talking.
Yeah.
So I've listed the carriers and I'm going to share this link. This is a template, guys. Okay. What you want to do, and I'm sharing this template. Okay. So with this template, okay, you're going to have, this is for contracting. Okay. Then I added a tab down here for the broker side of the business. And then I added a site here for the member side of the business. Okay. So on the carrier side, let's say it's Ambetter. Here's the broker portal. Okay. Here's the broker support number. What you can do, what he just mentioned, is here you could put a column for your login. You can put your password over here. And now you're tracking everything here. Okay. So kind of, it takes a little organization, but, this is money, guys. This is all money. Take care of your money because nobody will take care of your money like you. So you've got to be familiar. I mean, that's a lot of carriers I have here. Joe, and I'm not only ACA, but we can even track our dental business, our short-term business with you also.
Right. Right. Oh yeah. Anything that pays a percentage of premium, we can track. Yeah. Life disability, any advanced commission, ancillary lines, dental vision, hearing, any of that.
So I'm going to try and see what I can put together for tomorrow. Tomorrow I am going to do grace period. I took notes here, grace period, a payment workflow. You see right there, Mario, I overlooked it. I got to call Mario. I know him. Man, the guy was a huge chain of car auto repair, and money's not an issue for him. But man, do I have to get a hold of him and make sure he pays his bill? Not a good thing. All right. Any final questions for Joe? Good question, Irene. Anybody else? Okay. Don't forget agencycomp.com. Go give it a try. And I would just tell you this, guys, you're not going to find anything less expensive. Okay. The only other tool that is pretty good, but just like Joe's, is over $300 and something a month. Okay. You're paying a fraction of that. And don't forget my code, my last name, Moreno, 10. And with that, you get a little discount. Hey, every little penny helps, guys. Take advantage of it. And then if you don't want to do this, guys, all you have to do is just grab your statements, connect with Joe. Hey, Joe, I'm assuming for you to do the work, there's a little bit of a fee on that one.
Yeah, it's not much. It's not much. Give us a call. We'll work something out.
Yeah, connect with him and start tracking your stuff, guys. No, I mean, these past couple of years, it was only for us to track our commissions, but next year, super, super vital. Because once they cancel for non-pay, you're done. There is no reinstatement. All right. I don't think anybody's got questions, man. I think we are clear as mud, Joe.
All right, man. You guys have a great week. Thanks for having me, Luis.
Okay, thanks, guys. Don't forget,
All right.
agencycomp.com. Thank you, guys.